Hey there, sports card investors. My name is Parker Michael. I'm the Director of Sports Card Data for Market Movers here at SCI, and today I'm filling in for Teapot. And so I'll be going over 10 types of cards that I'll personally be looking for at the Dallas Card Show, May 21st through the 23rd at the end of this month. Alright, so the first type of card that I'm going to be looking for are these two specific inserts from 2019 Optic of Stephen Curry. These cards, I still haven't come up with a great term for it, but these kind of cards just hit the nail on the head of what kind of player Stephen Curry is. So the first one is called Rainmakers, which is very synonymous with him hitting lots of threes, making it rain. And then also in line with being a three-point shooter, we have the Splash. And both of these are the hollow versions, so they're a little bit more rare. And as you can see, the pop counts are extremely low on these cards. So personally, my type of investing, I like to target much more kind of artistic, low population cards. I've moved away somewhat from the commodity cards, just personally. Because I feel like there's a lot of opportunity in these types of cards. And as you can see, over the past 3 months, these cards have established nice price floors and haven't really been affected by the recent minor pullback in the market. And so this is definitely one I'll be targeting. As you can see, the last sale of the Rainmakers was $440. I'll be definitely looking to see if I can get it a little bit cheaper there, but in person, at card shows, you can definitely make deals. And then the last sale on the Splash Hollow was around the $275 mark, and I'll definitely be seeing if I can pick one up cheaper than that. But in this price range, for as low population as these cards are, for a Stephen Curry card that in person looks incredible and definitely sums up the kind of player he is, these are two that I will really be looking hard for to find a good deal. All right, number 9. These cards are from 2016 and 2017 Optic, and they're of Kobe. And again, just like the Stephen Curry cards I just showed you, these cards are very kind of iconic and artistic at the same time, and low population. So they're all hollows, and it's from a set called The Champ is Here. And so as you can see, this is the 2016 version, and it pictures a very youthful Kobe with the Larry O'Brien trophy, and the PSA 10 is only pop 18, and the 9 is pop 8. And then the other one that I'll be looking for is the 2017 Optic Champ is Here Hollow, which is, the older Kobe, also with the Larry O'Brien. And I think that these cards, they're just, Kobe being such an iconic player, and of course one of the most iconic moments that an NBA player can have is when they win the NBA championship and they're hoisting that trophy. And so these inserts, to me, they're half investment and half art almost. And that's the kind of cards that I personally love to look for. As you can see though, the 2017 is a little bit higher population. So I'll definitely be looking to see if I can pick up some of the lower pop 2016 Optics, but I will not be mad if I can pick up some of the 2017s. Number 8. This is a wide variety for this one, but it's the theme is Tom Brady's Prism Silvers in PSA 10, which you would think that these would be much higher population than they actually are. It's such a basic, kind of right-in-your-face card that you would think everyone would be kind of chasing. And recently, people have started to do that. For a while there, I thought I was about the only one really looking at it. But as you can see here, look at these trend lines over the last 3 months. They're all heading up. And I have personally noticed these ticking up over the last 6 months or so, since I've really been looking at them. As you can see, as we dive into the data a little bit more here, over the last, since we ever started tracking these, there's only been 2 sales of the 2014 Prism Silver, which is a pop 33. And then we moved to the PSA 10 from 2015, which is only pop 34. From 2016, pop 38. And then you do see a little bit of a tick upwards with the Mahomes rookie year, if you will. 2017 Prism Silver. And then the 2019 is also very low pop. 2018, you don't see that on here because 2018 they made virtually, I believe the silvers were 1 per box. They made silvers insanely rare, and I believe it's only pop 5. So if you find one of those, you definitely hit a bit of a gold mine. And I left off, 2013 and 2012 prisms because they sell for astronomical amounts because they're also insanely hard to find and very coveted. Okay, number 7. This is a bit of a fun one. I'm a huge fan of the Pat McAfee show. I bet a lot of you out there are as well. And so here are 2 of his cards that we have in Market Movers. This 2015 Topps, this is actually technically his rookie card. Just from it's a base Topps. I haven't seen any PSA 10s of these cards sell. But this is one where I would probably, it'd be a bit of a fun kind of treasure hunt for me. So I might be poking around dollar bins, if I see any kind of Colts card sections, might take a glance through it, see if I can find some of these, see if I can grade them. I just see I see these being low pop, and with the upwards trajectory that Pat McAfee, his show, is taking off, as well as him joining the WWE, I mean, the guy he's seeing almost, I don't want to say Joe Rogan-ish, but he's seeing such an upwards trajectory of his career overall as he, exposes himself to many, many different audiences. And so I think that, enough people out there might want to have one of his cards. So this is one of my really low dollar kind of, we'll say, prospecting a bit, because I don't really know where the value is going to go. But it's very, inexpensive at this point, and I think it could be a decent play. All right, so number 6 is Kyler Murray. Kyler Murray he's one of the young quarterbacks that I believe in most, and I believe at the moment he's fairly undervalued. His base prism is going for around $500. Recently, one sold for $437, so it went down a bit. But with DeAndre Hopkins there, with AJ Green arriving, with JJ Watt arriving to that defense, again, it feels like half my Texans roster is now on the Cardinals. So I'll be watching them a lot this year. I really don't see how there's not a lot of potential downside with Kyler Murray. Of course, there's injury. Of course, you could say size, but I think he's disproven a lot of those, beliefs that he was too small to play the position. I believe his speed makes up for a lot of that. He's a very gifted thrower of the ball. And yeah, I think he's a good play around this time. And I've also brought up another card that I'll be looking at, or looking to find any of. But I'm also a big fan of color matches. And so his Prism Red Ice, if I can get to pull up, is it's only pop 75. And this card, especially in person, I've seen him, it just matches the jersey so beautifully that that's one I think could be a sneaky play as well. And of course the sales, with it being low pop, are a bit inconsistent and a bit random. But, recently, the last couple sales have been, the last one dipped below $1,000. So if I could find one at the show for below $1,000, I'd definitely consider, maybe making a move on it. All right, number 5. So this one is about half PC, half investment for me. So I moved down to Atlanta about a year ago now, and I didn't have a baseball team. I'm not a huge baseball guy, but I have adopted the Braves as my baseball team. And so I think it's only fitting that I pick up one of Acuna's most iconic rookie cards, which is, of course, his bat down. And as you see here, I've pulled up a couple different grades. We have the PSA 10, the PSA 9, and the SGC 9.5. And I pull all these up because the PSA 10 is kind of out of my price range right now of what I want to spend on it. It's the last one It was going for over 3,000. Looks like it just dipped below 3,000. But I definitely wouldn't want to spend. I'd want to be more in the ballpark of 1,000 to 1,500, I think. So I bring up both of these grades because although there only has been one SGC 9.5 sale in the last 3 months, it's right in line basically with the PSA 9. I think SGC, as a side note, I bet you saw in our most recent video. But honestly, if you asked me 3 months ago if I would buy any SGC, I would say no way, not going to happen. But I've seen a lot more of them on the market, a lot more of them selling pretty well, pretty consistently. And so who knows? If I found the right SGC 9 or 9.5 for this card at the card show, I might pick it up. So just a half PC, half investment play for me personally. And then number 4 is Connor McDavid. So if you read my buy pick for this week, it was Connor McDavid. And mostly, I'd say a month ago, I had never considered buying hockey until recently. A friend kind of turned me on to. He's a massive hockey fan, and just how much Connor McDavid he's been buying, and he kind of convinced me a bit of. Not only his short-term future, but just in the overall broader context of where he could slot in eventually if he keeps up the pace he's at with in the landscape of the all-time greats. Now, he'll never catch Wayne Gretzky in terms of points, because Wayne, I believe, had a career total of around 2,800 career points, and McDavid, he just passed 100 for this year, but he leads the NHL with that. So it's much harder to get points in today's NHL, so I don't think he'll ever catch the great one. But still, he's far and away the LeBron James of the NHL at just 24 years old right now. Since his rookie year in 2015, every year since his rookie year, he's either finished first or second in terms of total points scored in the NHL, which is kind of insane. It's kind of insane that the mainstream hobby hasn't really talked about him more, I feel, because he's very clearly the best player in the game right now. So I think that as we're all kind of GOAT obsessed in the hobby right now, and so it's weird to hear that the current GOAT, if you will, hasn't really been talked about as much. But here are some of his rookie cards that we have in our system, with of course the top line being his Young Guns PSA 10, which is the flagship rookie card for him, hands down. It is for all hockey players. But then we have some other options here, so I'll scroll down into the stats. So if you can't really cough up the 3,500 it would take to get one of his PSA 10 Young Guns, some other options you might consider in the around the sub 500 range would be his OPG update, which is only pop 90, and then you kind of get into his more common UD Star rookies, which is just over 500. Then one that's a little bit more rare would be the Parkhurst, which is just over 100, but that only sells for 275. So if you compare it to all the other ones that we have up here, that's the cheapest. And then of course, kind of floating around in that between all these cards and the Young Guns base would be his Young Guns canvas, which is, from what I gather, it's kind of like in Mosaic, how there's the true Mosaic base rookie, but then you might have the NBA debuts version. So it's not quite considered as true rookie, but still commands lots of value, as Upper Deck is one of the main hockey products. All right, number 3. So you're not going to see a lot of trend lines, I turn them off for this graph in particular, because they really don't do us too many favors. But the third play that I'm looking to make is on Messi and Ronaldo's 2017 select field level silvers in high grades. So hopefully PSA 9s and 10s, maybe BGS 9.5, but for these I'd like to stick to PSA. Now, full disclosure, I own one of the PSA 10 Ronaldos and one of his 9s. So with both those being pop 6 and pop 7. So that means there's 13 of those. So I own I own almost 20% of the whole population. So this one is more of a kind of corner of the market approach, if you will. And one reason why I like this set in particular has a lot to do with it being Kylian Mbappe's rookie year. Mbappe, of course, one of the biggest rising stars in all of soccer, one of the biggest stars, period, in today's game. And, of course, Messi and Ronaldo, they're kind of the, they're like the LeBron Jameses, if you will, of soccer. Or you could say LeBron James is the Messi or Ronaldo of basketball. Kind of, it works both ways. They're probably the two greatest players from this century. And so I see a lot of value in putting my money into those guys. And of course, you can, I'm not a massive soccer investor, but I've noticed that, if you're not, aside from these guys, if you just stick with guys who are really popular, I mean, you'd probably be putting money into Marco Reus or Anthony Martial, if it was a few years ago. Guys were, Reus was on the cover of FIFA not long ago. And now he's just not much of a star, So I see a lot of value in just, keeping it simple and going for Ronaldo and Messi cards. And these ones have been, for as low population as they are, let's see, since we've been tracking them, there's only been 2 sales of each. I purchased mine on MySlabs, so you won't see them in here. Great website, by the way. Go check out myslabs.com. But as you can see, I think that, the last sale of this PSA 9 being only $200 for Ronaldo, for being pop 7, I think that's massively undervalued. And I realize in putting this video out, I'm probably not doing myself any favors. So if you guys can get to them before I do, congrats, I guess. But that's going to be one that I'll be keeping my eye out for in Dallas. All right, number 2, pretty simple. Jalen Hurts, his Prism PSA 10, very basic flagship rookie card of Hurts. Hurts is one of those guys where I feel like, based on the potential he has and the situation he's in, could be a pretty good value play. I was saying the same thing about Josh Allen before he blew up last season, and I feel, I'm not expecting him to do exactly what Josh Allen did, which was pretty incredible. But if he can do anything close, if he can have any kind of, breakout season or even semi-breakout season where he just proves to people that he's a really solid starter in the NFL, I think that this, the last sale being for around $250. Let's go on the stats here. Yeah, so $250. It got as high as $523. So it's pretty surprising to see it down this much. An average, I guess, being around $350 for that card. Anywhere in that range, I feel like it'd be a great pickup. At the moment, it's only pop 163, which is pretty low. I would expect that to climb though, as PSA continues to process probably at this point, lots of 2020 Prism football. So definitely don't expect it to stay there. But one card that I would compare it to again would be, so let's go over this new quick search feature, which we added not long ago. So as you can see right now, we have Hertz's 2020 Prism PSA 10 selected. And so let's just type in Josh Allen Prism PSA 10. And then, as you can see, we have lots of different, we have a big variety of Josh Allen cards in the system. And then we just click the check mark on his Prism base. And go up, click View Chart. And there you go. It'll compare those two cards for us. So, no having to, click all those boxes anymore. Now we have this quick search feature, which is incredibly valuable. But as you can see, of course, Josh Allen's selling a lot more for a lot more at the moment. But let's just move the timeline back. And as you can see, Josh Allen around this time last year was selling for around, that in between 150, 250-ish, around that mark, which is right around where Hurts is at this time of the year. And then of course, I recognize that last year, everyone was locked down, so sports, that's a big contributing factor to why sports cards boomed. Is everyone was locked down looking for things to do. That's really helped the hobby take off. And then of course, as the season got started, before the season, it really shot up. And I wouldn't expect that for Hurts necessarily this year. I would expect a bit of a rise, but not quite to this level. We're at 3x from where we're at now. But then, of course, went through the natural ebbs and flows. And as Josh Allen continued to prove himself throughout the year, it wound up being, last month, people were paying over $1,000 for that card. So the point of this all is, for around $250 to $300, I think that buying a Jalen Hurts Prism PSA 10 is a great place to park your money for the next 3, 6, or 9 months. Alrighty, so my final one. This is one that I tell myself would be investment, but it probably end up being PC. Either way, to me, it's a great place to put my money, and that is particularly in the 2016 Select Courtside Silvers of LeBron and Kobe. So in this year, unlike different years, there's multiple versions for each player of the Courtside Silvers. Now I currently own a PSA 9 of the 293 Kobe, which is this one right here. And again, it's kind of, if you guys sense a theme with me, I love the kind of the artistic side of the hobby, really, or the iconic moments, if you will. And, of course, it has him with the Larry O'Brien, as well as the Finals MVP trophy. I just think it's such a cool card. Kobe being who he is. Lots of Kobe collectors out there. I don't see how they wouldn't love to have one of these in their PC. And in person, these photos almost don't do them justice. They look incredible. And then, as you can see, this is the 292, which also features him with the Larry O'Brien and the Finals MVP trophy. And then for LeBron, it kind of goes through, just chronicles his, and it's not just from the year 2016. Like here, it's him with the Cavs when they won it. And then the other two ones are when he was with the Heat. And so this one right here, him with the Finals MVP trophy, and the Finals celebration jersey or shirt. And then this one is him with the actual MVP when he's accepting that award when he was with the Heat. All these are very iconic cards in my eyes, and I would look for these to just increase in how iconic they are in the hobby. It seems like a pretty good play in my eyes. And if we scroll down, so I am not expecting any of these to be cheap. However, we saw the rise of the chalk toss. We saw the rise of the Kobe's Topps Chrome with LeBron guarding him. Of course, there's a lot more of those out there, so it makes it easier for a trend to build around those cards. But I see these cards, I can't really see them dropping in value. And if they ever did, I would be personally content owning them because I consider them, to me, they're pieces of art. They're extremely rare. They're select courtside silvers, very low population, especially on the Kobe's. As you can see here, pop 33, pop 13. LeBron's a bit more common, but still very low population for the kind of cards they are. And this is probably the number one card that I'm going to be looking for in Dallas. So that being said, I hope no dealers are watching this. And I hope you guys can give me a deal at the show. But if you do, fair play. But I'm super excited to be to meet a lot of people at this month's Dallas Card Show. Super excited to be back at card shows once again, to be hunting down these cards, experience the energy of being at a card show because I think the hobby's in a great place right now. and I think it's just gonna be a blast. So I hope to see you guys out there, and I hope you enjoy the video. So with that, I will wrap this up. Thanks, guys.